I was in St. Louis. I had a friend who worked for St. Louis University's track team.
Mhm.
So I went out and tried to high jump again. And this was after I'd been doing CrossFit and powerlifting for a couple of years, had gained some weight, and I'd been doing slow movements, not explosive stuff.
And had done a high jump attempt, total of, let's add it up here, 0 times in the last
0 times in the last
5
3
years.
years.
Yeah.
The infamous one more. I was feeling kind of tight. I had jumped a few times and I was like, let me just get one more. I think I can clear. I think it was trying for 6'4" or 6'6", which is stupid for me to do that after years. Felt a pop in my hamstring, came down, everything was not good. Immediately bruised up, and so I go back home and I had texted him just kind of as a joke because there were rumors that people were like, yeah, you can treat you from a distance with this stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Text him as a joke. I'm like, hey, I think I just tore my hammy. Anything you can do? And he texts back. He's like, hang on, I'm with a patient. I'll get back to you in a minute. And I'm like laughing about it, like, okay, whatever. So texted back. He's like, hey, I did the testing, found a couple things. Roll out this muscle somewhere else and retest it. And I go back and I retest it and I can do a full squat with no pain. I can do like the doormat sign with 2 out of 10 pain, maybe like pretty minimal pain while my hammy is bruised. And I text him back and I was like, hey, it's way better. I still feel a little with the doormat, but it's pretty good. And he texts back and goes, oh, I must have missed something. Hang on. And then texts me back, has me try it again. Feels way better. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks later, I was back deadlifting. I think I have a video. It was 385 that I deadlifted with no pain.
Which should be
literally
anatomically, that should be impossible, right?
not right. Yeah.
The bruising that you had tells me, okay, you had to tear muscle fibers or we wouldn't have gotten bruising. Those muscle fibers don't heal in weeks. I mean, they'll heal in a month, right? Like 6 weeks. But, the idea is like, oh, progressively load them and blah, blah, blah. Yep. So you're violating all that and you're not even getting hands-on care. You're getting distance, emotional
stuff, right?
Or proxy, right?
Yeah. So with that, I'm like, all right, I got to learn this stuff because I felt really strong about, soft tissue work and adjustments and all that stuff. I'm like, man, if this is something that can help people that I don't know, then I got to go learn it. So
yeah,
that's how we ended up there.
Okay. And you said it was effective, right? Like for those.
Yeah. I think anything like that, you can do it ethically, right? Like there's a difference between, hey, nothing has worked. I'm going to try some weird stuff for a visit or two. And if it gets better, great. There's an issue when you're like, let me try 60 more visits.
Yeah. Or this is the only thing I'll try.
Exactly. And he was really good about that. He would do the normal good stuff that research says to do, but he would add in the other stuff when necessary.
Yeah. And for those people who just don't feel heard and like they're still nagging, it's incredibly frustrating. So with that care, a lot of times those came down to emotional issues. And I'm sure we're going to have some people reaching for the delete button right now on this podcast, but yeah, I was amazed by this. And I just think it's big because, the human body is it's multifactorial. Like every injury you have, right? Like I think everybody can understand, like when you tear your hamstring, could an improved diet in the months leading up to it have improved the tissue resiliency? Probably. But if you're eating a bunch of like fast food, the likelihood of tearing a muscle is probably higher because of, nutritional factors. And these emotions, especially in chronic issues, the emotion your patient felt of being embarrassed that he's getting old, stuck in the booth, they play a role. And so you end up finding a lot of these emotional, I don't know, what do you call them? Emotionally driven based musculoskeletal issues. They got kind of spicy sometimes though, right? Like the conversations about it, like, hey, we found the cause and it's not what you think.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
How did you learn to build trust with those people and how did those discussions sometimes go?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing was, and I think it's funny because this has transformed a little bit, but I don't really do that type of work anymore in the sense of using the muscle testing and all that. But when you're doing that type of work and you're getting into those conversations with people, one, when someone knows that you care, when you've tried things already and they didn't work and you go, hey, this isn't working, I'm going to do everything that's within my scope that I can to help you get better. That's already building trust. And then when you dive into those conversations and you're like, hey, this could actually be caused by something that happened to you 10 years ago. There's an immediate like, oh my gosh, there's that moment you see it clicks in their mind where they're like, that makes total sense, right? And then it's the floodgates. Like they're ready to tell you everything because they know that you care. They know that you're you're open to it. I remember, well, there's lots of stories, but there
Can
was
you share the one about the guy that owned a dispensary local?
yeah. So there was a patient that I had with neck pain, and we're going through, and I had gone through everything that I should do.
Real quick, can you kind of give a perspective of what the patient was like? Like how old? I remember he was like a successful business owner.
Yeah,
and
probably in his 40s, successful business guy, worked like, was a banker or something like that, some kind of financial guy that also owned some dispensaries on the side. They come in for neck pain. It looked like a disc. It smelled like a disc. Everything about it seemed like a disc. He had some in his shoulder as well. And we treated it like that. And it was a little better, but not great. So I was like, hey, are you open to some weirder things so we can try to fix this thing? And he's like, yeah, sure. And we go through, do some testing. And the testing basically came back. It was an emotion related to his connection to God. And I asked him about it. I'm like, what makes you feel connected to God? And he's like, nothing, because I don't believe in God. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. A lot of times we find that when you have, maybe not the best relationship with your father. How's that? And he's like, yeah, I don't talk to the guy. I'm like, oh, interesting. We start to dive a little bit more into that and do some of the treatments that we would do for that and do some of the clearing things. And then he leaves, he comes back. He's like, hey, I did the things you told me to. We got to talk about whatever you did to me though. And I'm like, cause I'm still pretty fresh here. I'm young and just learning this. He's like, I have had zero desire to smoke weed for the last week since I've seen you. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's cool. And he's like, no, I don't think you understand. I've done that every single morning for the last like 20 years. And I literally own dispensaries and I have zero desire to do it. And it's fascinating because then we dive into this whole world of like, oh, like this could be causing your pain, but this could also be causing cravings of something else, or this could be causing you to need to cope with that in this way, where if you deal with the actual underlying thing, those go away as well.
So the weed usage was like his coping mechanism, and then his business sense kicked in and said, well, I may as well build a whole entire
Might as well make some
company around this. Yeah. And you took away the core issue. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we would do the weird stuff to find that out back then, but I find more and more now that just being quiet and letting people talk, all of that stuff comes out anyways.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Trust Driven Insights, brought to you by Trust Driven Care. Imagine a world where all your patient communication is in one place, seamless, effortless, and on autopilot. That's the power of Trust Driven Care. If you're ready to streamline your practice, check out trustdrivencare.com and see what's possible. Trust Driven Insights, real conversations, smarter care, stronger business.